Cool, cool. Let's give it a couple of minutes. Welcome everyone to the Ghana AI Hackathon. We're really excited. You guys have been seeing all of our messages from the dev post to Slack and also WhatsApp. So folks are going to be joining in from all over Ghana. So today we are going to go over just the overview, some housekeeping things, some details. This is first of many workshops that we have. Um, so, so let's give it a couple of minutes. Um, yeah, so let's give it a couple of minutes and then we can kick off. Please ask that if you can be on mute as we going to be going over. So please ask to be, so please make sure you mute yourself. We are going to start in about 3 minutes. As folks should be coming in, I know you guys should have received the notification of the link. Once again, this is the first of many workshops. We are going to have weekly Tuesday workshops back to back. We're going to share more details about that to set everyone up for success, to dive into the many tools and resources that's going to be available for you guys, so you guys can build some awesome solutions. We're going to be starting in 2 minutes. We will be starting soon. Make sure you invite your friends, your teammates who's going to be participating in the hackathon with you. All right, let's get started. Welcome everyone to the Ghana AI Hackathon 2025. This is the intro workshop to let you guys know more about the logistics, more details, the resources that's going to be readily available, the judges, all of the above. And can you go to the next slide, please? All right, so we are going to have weekly workshops that's going to be facilitated by Pang. As you see, he's our CTO. We go to talk more about that weekly to make sure that you guys are being set up for success. But today is just the kickoff orientation. So about Bridge Labs. So Bridge Labs, we are an HR tech company that we truly believe in Ghana and the overall African tech talent. We connect Ghanaian software developers, data scientists, and UI UX designers to companies to hire. So we serve as that bridge where clients in the US are looking for talent to hire. And so we make sure we handle the compliance, we do the vetting, we take care of the management so you can work full time for US companies. There is a wave that's happening right now where a lot of American companies and other companies abroad, they're looking for AI developers and developers who have that experience and knowing how to use these different AI tools. So this is why we took the initiative to really have this hackathon event where we can not only surface the talent, but to also focus on skill development, because that's what we focus, that's what we specialize in, and really pushing forward on this AI movement that Ghana should not be left behind in this new wave. But let's go back real fast. I'm sorry. So I'm Kevin. I'm Kevin Famigia. I'm the CEO of Bridge Labs, and now passing over to you, Payne.
All right, thank you, Kevin. Hello, everyone. So I'm Peng Boris. I'm the CTO at Bridge Labs, and I'm going to be handling most of the technical aspect and technical workshop and trying to assist you guys as much as possible to succeed.
And we also have Melly and Regine. So Melly and Regine, if you want to unmute yourself to present, they're also part of our team.
Hello. Oh, hello everyone. I'm Regine. Hello everyone. I'm Regine, and with Melly, we are part of the marketing team. We are going to be putting you guys forward so everyone can see the amazing work you're doing. Hello everyone, I'm Melly, and like Regine said, we are part of the marketing team, and we are excited to start and kick off the Ghana AI Hackathon. Looking forward to all the amazing projects you guys are going to build and just getting to know you all.
Thanks. They're the one that you will be seeing their Slack message, their WhatsApp, all the above, dev posts. They are going to be highlighting you guys on social media, on LinkedIn, Facebook, IG, and X. So they want to really promote you guys of the amazing work that you guys are going to be doing. So your why. Now we're just curious. Drop in the chat, what are the things you want to learn from participating in this AI hackathon? Drop in the chat. We want to know your why. Why are you interested? I mean, the cash prize is cool and all. You know, everyone likes money, but why? Why are you guys interested in participating in this hackathon? Drop in the chat. Tell us your why. So I'm going to say the challenge to build worthwhile, solving real world problems, to build and ship AI solutions for Africa. I love that. We have an AI agent and we want to improve it in lane change. I love that. I love that. You know, I know lane chain is a very popular AI agent platform that has become really industry based. The same thing with NAN is really popular. I really happy about that, and I'm happy that you guys are thinking of how to use AI to really solve problems for us. The opportunity will aid in bringing forth ideas and products which will be vetted by others. allowing me to access the relevance of the idea. Hey, for the cash prize, no cap. Hey, at least you real. People care about the money. You're not BSing around. I love that. I love that. Leverage AI to build real world problems and contribute to research. Oh, you guys built your own agentic framework. Oh, you're not using lane chain. You built Timothy. That's really cool. Timothy, we should definitely talk. I think that's really amazing. I would love to talk more about that. The money, the networking, the experience, just to understand and improve my skill set for my future AI projects. Oh, these are all great quotes. I love this. I love this a lot. Side note, Regine, Melly, these are all great quotes. Oh, this is excellent. Cool. I love saying this, to challenge myself, try new things, and see how my good technical support skill is. I'm seeing a lot of intrinsic value and just positioning you guys as problem solvers. Excellent. These are strong whys. So the overview. We want to highlight the untapped talent that Ghana has to offer and to position the Ghanaian community as problem solvers. Often, when we think about tech hubs, especially in the world, people usually think about India, people think about the States, people think about China, the UK, the Dutch. Now people are thinking about Nigeria, South Africa, Kenya. But we think Ghana is a sleeping giant that has a lot to offer. And not only that, it's growing as a tech hub. Just last week, a couple of weeks ago, we saw that the United Arab Emirates is investing over $1 billion to build an innovation hub in Ghana. More companies are coming to Ghana because they recognize the talent that's had to offer. And let's position Ghana as a great AI hub. So this hackathon will be running from July 1st to the 20th. That's when the submission date is open. Everything will be done virtual. And then we have our mixer event on July 19th on Saturday at the Impact Hub. So more details will be coming out. There will be cash prize. First place, get $1,000. Second, $500. Third place, $250. Just based on the hard work. And we talk more about the criteria that's gonna how we are going to evaluate you guys. So just like we said, the overview. So this is a 2-week sprint, right? This is why Pang is going to be setting you guys up for success, along with I'm sorry, is Bernard here? Hey Bernard, are you here? Hey Bernard, you want to introduce yourself? Bernard is one of our senior developers at Bridge Labs that will also be supporting. Okay, well, he's not here at the moment, but Pang and Bernard will be assisting you guys with setting up the different, working with you guys how to sell the GPUs, the different AI models, and things of that nature. It's open to all Ghanaians 18 or older. You can work solo, or you can have it. You can form a team up to 4. If you're looking for teammates, you can drop in the Slack channel, find teammates, use that channel to find people to work with. You can also slide in people DMs as well. Like I said, we kick off on July 1st. So this is like just like an intro orientation to get more people aware that this is happening. The development is from the July 1st to the 18th. The submission is July 20th at midnight. And you need to choose one of the challenge tracks that we are going to go over to build a prototype. Payne, is there anything you want to share about with the overview of the timeline?
No, I don't think so. I think I'll just dive into like more details while talking about the next the project.
Okay, cool. So let's talk. Can we share product? Meaning, can you share? I'm not quite. I don't understand about sharing the product. Are you referring to at the end of the hackathon? Can you share it? Oh yeah. So yeah. So this is open to the public, so you can share the product to the public. You all own the code, you own the IP, you have that full flexibility of sharing. Hope I answered your question, Timothy. Okay, great. And feel free to ask any questions in the chat. You can move forward. Right?
All right. Do you want me to take it from here? Oh,
Sure. Yeah, you can.
all right. So, greetings once more. So, like, just keep your questions. We're going to answer all your questions at the end of the session, as I go through all the slides. So, the first challenge is the Smart Agriculture Challenge or the Smart Agriculture Project, which the main objective is to be able to like detect and classify diseases in Ghanaian crops. So currently, the data set that we kind of like the open source data set that is provided, we have the cashew. I'm sorry, the items in the data set are cashew, cassava, maize, and tomato. But when building your solution, you shouldn't just be like try to build stuff that only focus on this. Like always think about like how can you build a model that can probably adapt in other situations. It must not be perfect. Maybe the accuracy when you're using throwing in another crop or other images might drop down considerably, but just try to make sure your model is always as general as possible. So we're going to be talking more about this in like upcoming workshops, but basically like this is what you're going to be working on. And the key requirements that can really make you stand out is like, how can you make your model or like your overall system multimodal? So if for example, if you're having like like somebody wants to like take a picture and probably upload to like get a verification of what disease that plant is has, you kind of like want to think about like how can you take in audio, how can you take in video, how can you probably take in text, like depending on the context and the way you want to frame it, you with adding like multimodality to your model is going to like make it more easy to do to use. So for example, if somebody doesn't want to type, the person can just like record an audio and upload the image. So this is just one way you can stand out, and it really depends on your application. You should not just go ahead and be adding like video upload just for fun. It should have like a context, it should have like a use case, and it should be like useful. So for example, I think a very good example is like if your system is able to like use one of Ghana's local language, I think that's a very great add, because like some not it doesn't limit just people English speaker. I mean someone even can speak in Twi. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but like somebody can speak in that language and then the model can understand alongside with the image. Yeah, so and the next thing to really consider is like your like that can really make you stand out in this project is can your model run on resource constrained environment? Let's say, because most people are going to be using something like a phone. So can you make the model run on a phone, or you have to like deploy the model on a server and people access it through API. So we are really going to like dive into these more technical details later on, but start thinking about like how can you make your model to be as um, can run on like really small or tiny devices. So we have the benchmark here just like as a good starting point because there are a lot of models out there which you can copy from that have achieved like probably like 95 accuracy. And in terms of like you should just use this as a good baseline for when you're implementing. Let's say if you implement something, a solution that is really good is always depends on like the context, the problem it solves. Now your accuracy can be 90%, but it performs good like and it gets the job done. It means you've built something good, but now the benchmark is just like a way of like one of the metrics you can use to actually like rate yourself, but don't really focus on like solving a solution, solving a real problem and something that can be really useful to like Ghana or the African community. So yeah, I just wanted to highlight that. So the next project is like the key topic is about like public transport. We have the Trotro data set that has been provided, and this challenge is kind of like really open-ended in terms of like there are a lot of creative ways that you can use this data set, and that's when your idea is going to be um, evaluated in terms of like how unique is your idea and how can these be applied in like Ghana. So like some of the examples that are mentioned on the slide, as you can see, how can you integrate the data from the data set for like real-time purposes? Let's say based on the traffic data that have been collected, how can you use that data and probably like help a driver that is trying to like drive through the main city in Ghana during like a crowded period to avoid traffic or suggesting like an optimized route. So it really depends on what you're trying to solve here and the angle you want to take approach these. Another way to approach this problem can be like how can you optimize the data collection process? So for example, let's say if you have people that are using mobile devices like drivers, how can they use their phone to continuously augment this data in terms of like that can be used now to build like better models. So what I'm trying to say is like you can have like phone like an app which collects like the different route a user or a driver takes during the day. Now, based on that data is being uploaded to a server where you can save it. Then you build like a proof of concept model on how you can use that data to actually optimize something in Ghana or like in terms of like traffic, reduce traffic, or how can it can just help anybody. So yeah, the benchmark is like actionable insight for city planners. How can this be used in like Ghana? How can this be used like in your local community to help people around it? And how can this be deployed so that it can be used by other people or just like help other people navigate Ghana? Just like even like foreigners when they come to Ghana, how can they easily have like a system to help them detect traffic or know where like which route to take when like during at a certain period of time. So that's the second project. In terms of team formation and support, Kevin briefly highlighted these, but you can go in as like a single person if you want, or you can form a team of up to 4. So ideally, when you're forming your team, you should try to have like a balance of someone that knows that probably like master AI or that is really technical in terms of like AI or can really grasp like AI and ML concepts. You should have somebody that can actually work on like front end or even like back end who is good at back end. I'm going to like give you like the requirements for the submission, and you're going to see that you're going to need someone to either build a UI or build an API or a way to consume your project so that it can show that this project can probably just be deployed easily to like anywhere or probably like accessed by anyone to build something good, or probably like access if you need to build a mobile app, you probably need like an API to fetch the data and then use it in that mobile app. So you can either build an API or you can build a front end that probably consume that, just depend on the timeline and what you're trying to do. That's why we encourage you to try to like build a team of someone that knows AI, that has experience with AI, front end, back end, and probably other complementary skills. But I think those are the two key skills. So for tips, make sure to like invite your friends, colleagues, to join so that you can work with somebody that probably you're already used to working with to make the work move faster. You can use the Slack channel to actually find teams. So just like as if you want to inbox people, try to be polite as possible, but ideally use the channel like this, the find team channel, to actually like drop your request. And if anybody is interested, the person can reply. Then you guys can now discuss probably inbox or something like that. And try to define your roles early enough. Like I was saying, it's good to know that this person is going to focus on AI because he can easily grasp and come up with something that is going to be really creative and that can help you probably gain win the competition. Next, we have a couple of resources which we are currently compiling. One of them is a notebook LLM. I think probably you guys, some of you might have already tried, but I'm just going to briefly show you how this is. So we have compiled a couple of resources here. You can also listen to it like to the audio version of the resource. For some reason, okay, I need to load it, but when you open this link, the link is attached here, and I think it's also in the channel, the resource channel. So when you come here, you can either listen to this audio version if you're lazy and you probably don't want to like read through everything, or if there's a specific video you want to read, you can prep or resource you want to access, you can just click and access it here. But one of the ways you can this is really cool is like you can ask questions to it. So let's say what should how I don't what question can I ask, but you can ask question. Let's say what is a good what is a good project idea to win the competition. Yeah, so you can come into this chat bubble and ask multiple questions regarding the competition, regarding what you need to build, or just anything. And it's going to use the resources that have been allocated to answer your question. And it's going to also point you to like the different resources. So if you see when I highlight probably like on this, it shows me where this is from and where I can, if I click on this, I can probably like read more on this resource. And you see to maximize your chances of blah blah blah. I'm not going to read everything, but you can see this does a good job in summarizing the entire resources we have, and you can just ask questions in just like ChatGPT and get your answers quickly without like going through all the resources. So we are going to have some resource future workshops that dive deeper into like some of these key concepts which are going to help you build something that can be practical and that can be really useful. And like I said, that's the next step where we are going to have like the workshops which we are going to like give more information later on. Now, in terms of support, like we already mentioned, you try to use Slack as much as possible. That's where we are mostly going to be communicating. So the frequently asked question, before you ask a question, ideally you want to like go through these and make sure your question is not already answered. Then you also keep an eye on the Hackathon update channel so that you keep like we're going to be dropping updates there. And as I mentioned earlier, in the resource channel, we are going to be dropping links to different resources. We also have WhatsApp for people that like to have probably notifications on the go. So WhatsApp is mostly for like announcement, which you can use to quickly access or know what's happening. And if you have like some technical questions, you can create a support ticket and fill in the details, and we are going to get back to you as soon as possible with clear actionable insights on how you can solve your technical issue. So yeah, that's it about the support system. And what should you deliver? Remember, like I was saying, you need somebody that in your team, you need somebody that's good in AI, that's probably good in backend or front end development. It could be a mobile app, it could be a web app, but you need someone that can build a way to interact with your model. Ideally, we don't want you to like submit like a Jupyter notebook, but because we are judging like there's a term, like there's a criteria in the evaluation that we actually want to see that your system can be easily dropped into, like, let's say, a mobile phone, or can be easily deployed. And in terms of easily deployed, it's either an API or you're providing an interface for somebody to use. So that's why we want like a working prototype, a web app, mobile app, or an API, the GitHub repository of your work documented with runnable code, so that if we need to like test the technical implementation, we can actually go ahead, clone it and run it. And next, you have to record a demo explaining your project, how it works, and how someone can use it. So this is going to count on like presentation, and same thing with like the technical documentation. You can actually stand out here by really explaining, like, because you can explain like how you, if you have like something that is unique, very unique about your project, you want to highlight it here so that we know that, oh, what is really unique about your system is the architecture, because multiple people from all over Ghana can connect with it without the system crashing. And then you explain how that architecture works and why is it that your system is unique and it uses that. And also like in terms of performance metric, but feel free to be creative here. Like there's no right or wrong answer. You submit what you think is going to make your project stand out. And all the question, like from a technical perspective, if somebody is supposed to review this project and say, oh, the person should be able to read that document and understand like all the design decisions you kind of made when building that project. In terms of the judging criteria, like I said, one of the major one is the technical implementation, and that's why I mentioned about like you need to make sure you actually take like what the way you're going to implement the structure of your system, the architecture needs to be really, really you need to think about it so you come up with something really good. So like this is almost like 40% or 40 points for the overall project or the overall judging criteria. So you have like the AI technique, the algorithm, the data usage, the architecture. You really need to make something that create something that is that is unique or that's cool. Or I don't know, like something in terms of like from a technical perspective that stands out. In the next one, which is about 30%, is the real world impact. Real world impact can be summarized in terms of like how can somebody use this system. If it's a mobile app, how easy is it to use? Like, can somebody just grab the phone, press a record button? Like, for example, when I was saying if your system is multimodal, it means somebody must not text. The person can just grab the phone, press a record button, and talk to the system, and it gives feedback or result. And in terms of like the next criteria is innovation and creativity. So there, in terms of creativity, there are a lot of things that have been done. Like creativity is usually probably taking, yeah, you can be creative in the way you take other people's idea and implementing it for Ghana, or you can be creative in the sense that you create something new. So it's very difficult to create something new nowadays, but it's really about like how do you take something or an idea that exists, and then how do you tailor it for Ghana or just make it way more applicable for Ghana. So for example, an example is like, well, this is not a very good example, but translation. We have a lot of translation model out there. If you can grab the translation model and then figure out how with very little data you can make the model to be good at probably like translating Twi, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but like one of Ghana's language, you're going to that the way what you've done is unique and novel because you have taken like a model out there, try to like fine tune it to be able to like adapt for Ghana while using less data and already using what people have already built. So that's kind of unique. And finally, we have like presentation and execution. And that's why I mentioned like the video presentation you're going to submit is going to count on this. The way you present your project, the way you communicate is also going to count for this. And next is our judges. So we have amazing judges that have a lot of technical experience under the belt, and they are here to assist you. They are here to make sure you succeed. So try to go wide because we are going to be providing a lot of resources. We are still compiling like the different workshops, but when you're going to see the workshops, some of them can be really technical. So really try to like leverage like us. So one of them is Pratik Nalaje. I might not be pronouncing that right, but you're going to have a chance to talk to him or to meet him. But he's a senior software engineer at NVIDIA. I know everybody knows about that. The next is Raul Senior. I still don't know how to pronounce that name right, but yeah, he's a data science manager at Adobe. As you can see, these two have they're working at really big companies, so they know what they're talking about and they know how to assist you. So if you have crazy ideas, you can always like come in and drop in, and we are going to try to help you as much as possible. And finally, there's me. So I'm mostly going to be like leading most of the workshop, but feel free to like if you have an idea, you're thinking about how to approach it, we can always help you to like think about it, brush the idea off, or even like because sometimes you might have an idea that is way too big for the competition, or in terms of the timeline, is too big to actually accomplish that. You can now start trying to like scaling down, creating an MVP, creating a prototype that somebody can see that this can actually work or this can actually be implemented, even like in a small scale, so that you can now expand it. So yeah, we're going to be giving more information about our judges and how they can assist you in upcoming sessions. And here are our sponsors. I think those in Ghana should be more familiar with them. But there is Bridge Labs, us. There is 40 Analytics, Cybersecurity Expert Association Ghana, and Aya Data. You guys should know better about them than me. So I'm just going to like skip this, or you can do more Google search about them. But we are going to be like talking about them more, and they're going. I think some of them are going to have like some sessions where they talk. Like I think some of them are going to have some sessions where they talk or they give you like a workshop. Like yeah, I think some of them are going to have some workshops. And finally, the session for question and answer. So right now, I'm going to be taking questions for the next couple of minutes and try to answer any questions you have at the moment. So yeah, I think we should go like you can raise your hand, and the first person I see that raise a hand, I'll call the name. The person can unmute and speak, and I can take the question. Many region were there. Okay, Albertina, please can you go ahead?
Yeah, I wanted to ask why transport and agriculture. Why did you people take an interest in that for the hackathon?
There is no how can I put it? There is no right or wrong answer, because for example, if we pick something in terms of like let's say health and I don't know health and what, and let's say I don't know what could be let's say health and e-commerce, you're still going to ask like why did we pick something in that area, but there's really no major like right answer. But one of the reasons is like agriculture is a backbone of like a lot of African countries. It means if we can build something that can help in terms of like agriculture in Ghana, that can be easily scaled out to like a lot of African countries. And the second one is, like I said, these are not, there is no right or wrong answer. The next one is public transport. I think last time we were in Ghana, the traffic there was kind of crazy. And it's also like kind of like the traffic in a lot of Africa, in some African countries, well, the ones I've been to, sometimes it's really exhausting. Like I think in Ghana, Nigeria, and Cameroon. So I've personally experienced those ones. So that's why we kind of like thought about public transport. How can we leverage public transport to like ease that those situations, or like that, like make it better. So like I said, there is no right or wrong answer, and whatever project we pick, there'll always be like equation. Why did we pick this? So this is just what we have for now, and this is what we would like you to work on. Hope that answers your question.
Yes, please. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Dixon, please go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Yeah,
Um,
hello.
so my question has to do with the timeline.
Yeah,
Can you hear me?
yeah.
All right. So my question has to do with the timeline. So per the rules and regulations, we are supposed to do the project within the time frame of 1st July to 20th July. But then I want to know, is there some sort of punishment or some sort of like let me say punishment for early development, especially with respect to this GitHub stuff, because when we push to GitHub and all those things, the time is recorded. So are you going to consider all those aspects as well?
In terms of like development, I don't think early development is any like it's not going to cost you, because like when you talk about early development, it really depends on like everyone's like technical skill. Like because for example, like anybody that comes into a competition prepared has a higher chance of winning. So if you know about the hackathon right now, it's starting in a couple of weeks, and you start probably like thinking about your idea, testing a couple of stuff, or just trying to like pre-prototype something, then you are already like preparing to win the competition. So there's not going to be like, and there won't be any penalty for like pre-development, because first of all there won't be like any clear way of knowing that. But you should just make sure that what you're submitting or what you're working on, you actually own it, or you own the right to submit it. So yeah, you can go ahead, dive into what you want to do, start looking into the project, start thinking about your ideas, start developing, and yeah, you won't be punished for that.
All right, sure. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I can see a question in the chat by Peter. Are there any tech stack recommendation for this hackathon? Will we have access to transport policy info or urban planning data to guide our design? All right, Peter. Hello, Peter. For your first question, tech stack recommendation. Actually, we are not like hard on tech stack. Use whatever makes you comfortable, or whatever that can makes you get the work done. But I know there is always going to be like some Python, because we are talking of AI. So ideally, like we are not emphasizing that you must use Python. You can also use C++ if you want to use it. But yeah, there's no tech stack um there's no tech stack we are enforcing. In terms of recommendation, I think for the most part, Python is, I would say, if I'm supposed to recommend something, I would say Python, because most people can easily grasp it and understand it. But I think at the end of the day, just use what is going to make you comfortable, or what you can use to get the tasks done. I know one of the workshop is going to be using Fast API, which is Python based, and like I said, most AI stuff is done with Python. That's why I think Python is just like one of the recommendations I'll give. Your second question was, for the transport policy project, there is a data set that was provided. So you can check the Ghana AI Hackathon dev post page or website, or I think you can also check the notebook LLM. It should probably like directly to like the data set that was provided for that part. Like I said, I think the data set is not like very, very good, because you need, that's why in terms of like I said, that project is kind of like open-ended. You can come with your own data set. If, like I said, just like I was saying about preparing, you can start searching the internet for your own data set, or coming out with ideas to augment your data set, and then now use that. So when we give a data set, it doesn't mean that you have to be restricted only to that. You can use other data sets as long as it makes sense. It's your solution, and as long as it works, we don't really care. And just make sure you have the right to use the data set. Yeah, I think that's it for the question in chat. Who Isaac? Can you go ahead? Isaac Obeng. Yeah, Josephus. I think I want to inquire more
Yeah,
about
hello.
the.
So I wanted to ask. Hello,
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah,
hello.
yeah, Isaac, I'm getting you. I don't know if Isaac can get me, but while Isaac is probably sorting out this technical issue. I see a question, Josephus Bawa. He's talking about GPU, and yeah, you heard something about that. So in terms of GPU, we are like one of the workshops. We're going to give you access to a production GPU, and we are going to show you how to use it. But it's not going to be something that is like like a massive GPU cluster. It's going to be like something that is production ready, and you can run like your larger model training tasks on it. But in terms of like, it's not something like what I'm trying to say is like you probably ideally you want to start prototyping on your computer, and even if you have to like just train it like on a very small sample set or like small subset of your data set, then now once you prove that you're ready to like run your training, then we are going to give you access to the GPU. So we are still thinking about like how we are going to be rolling out access for training, but yeah, we'll give you more information about that. Isaac, so my question was pertaining if we finish a project and work on it fast, then take time, train the model, is accepted. I don't think so. If you finish your project fast, then that's very good. Ideally, you want to make sure you have a proof of concept or a prototype as soon as possible. Then now, if your project needs more training, we are going to see how much compute that might need, and we can use like the GPU to maybe like increase your training or your model, like increase the amount of training it needs. And yeah, well, I might be confusing. Yeah, you can go ahead and finish your project as soon as possible. You can train it on a very minimal data set that demonstrate the concept and that your project can work. And then now we can give you access to like a GPU to train it even further and improve the accuracy. So yeah, feel free to finish your project as soon as possible because ideally you want to finish it as soon as possible and then fine tune it or figure out how to improve it. Yeah, I see Godfred or Godfried. Can you go ahead?
Okay, so thank you very much, Peng, for the amazing opportunity you're giving us. Uh,
Sure.
my question is related to the. I dropped the question earlier on, but my network got dropped as well. So my first question is going to be like, so you are advising for us to work on our project before we change the models and other ones. So my question is, with the presentation and the video that we're going to submit, do we have to leverage more on the technical aspects and show how the product really works and how it's leveraged on other ones? Or we should also put some energy into the business aspects of it and how it can make money? And with and also too, with the submission, um, explaining the architecture and everything, does it have to come in the demo video or that has to be on a different document as a whole?
I did not get the second question. Can you say that again?
My second question is the explaining of the architectural and everything, the nerdy part and everything of it. Does it have to come in the video, or it can be on its own sheet of paper to explain the projects in detail?
All right. So, like as always, like a presentation, it's usually like based on your audience, and most of the times, what usually gives you more points is usually the business aspect, the way you talk about it. So, but the judges, most of like all the judges are technical. So, what you want to do in terms of like the presentation, you want to like put both aspects. You want to talk about the business part of things, and you also want to like highlight the technical part of things. So it's usually that's where you get the presentation marks on how you actually talk about that. So you should not just like start the presentation that is all technical because at the end of the day, you have to assume that your public is just like general, like somebody that is just like not really domain specialist. So you want to keep it as simple as possible, and then when you need to get technical, you kind of like try and get technical and explain how unique your project is or how like what's the technical aspect of your project that stands out. You don't have to like talk about everything, but you have to balance it in between that 5 minute, give like the business idea, how this can help Ghana, how can this be used in Ghana, and then what is unique about your solution. Then now you talk about what is unique, and then you probably like highlight the technical component of what is unique. In terms of other stuff like architecture, all those type of things, it's best to just have it like out of the video. If you're putting architecture, like this is my personal recommendation, if you're putting architecture into your video, it means there's something unique about your architecture, or you need it to tell the story. So at the end of the day, presentation is usually about like storytelling and how you put the idea for anybody to grasp it. Now, yeah, some you can highlight now the technical part of your project very well in a subsection of the presentation. Is there any question? I think Dixon already took your question, but if I haven't, you can go ahead and ask if you have another question. Okay, seems like we don't have any. Checking the chat right now. Is there a threshold accuracy score we should meet when training? And for roughly how long will we have access to the GPU? I might want to do more epochs. Okay, in terms of accuracy, like I said, accuracy can just be like a personal benchmark to hit or to prove like your technical expertise. So for example, I gave like for the disease prediction, we have a lot of models. It's very easy for them to reach like 95% accuracy. Now, if your model accuracy reaches like 98, 97, that's really good. And that shows that your model or your architecture or whatever you have done technically is very good. So that's one thing you need to highlight. So that's one way of thinking about it. The next way of thinking about it is like your accuracy can not be like exceptional, but does your project get the work done? In terms of like if your project main goal is like detect disease, then I think accuracy is one of the very key benchmark. But if your key role, if the project, like I said, try to be creative in the project or like what you're trying to solve, the problem you're trying to solve. If the problem you're trying to solve is collecting multiple data from different farms and creating like a central model, because I think on one of the documentation I noted that one very interesting idea can be like, how can you collect data from multiple farms and then send it into a central server that can do the training, and then now all of the people that contribute to the data set can train their model. So in that case, the accuracy of the model alone does not really give you like the end goal of your system, because the end goal of your system is to create that architecture for Ghana that makes it easy for people to submit data of probably like plant diseases, and then that can be combined and trained. So if your model accuracy is like 70, something good, 70, 80, that's perfect, because the whole idea of your system is like making more accessible for multiple farmers to train to use their data, to collect their data, and then train a single model which all of them can benefit from. So that's one way. That's a way. Hopefully that answers the question. In terms of the GPU access, I think it's not going to be for a single day. It's also going to depend on like the compute requirements. So it's also going to depend on your data set. So we are going to discuss more about it, but I don't think we are going to like we are going to like figure out how long probably like a single epoch runs for your specific training. Then now if a single epoch runs for like 1 hour, we can try like a 24-hour window training cycle, and then we see after that. Then if we need more, we can go ahead and help you. We can give you access to more, but I think the GPU is going to be up for like multiple days, especially around the second week of the project, or the second week of the competition. So like I said, we are going to give you more information on how to access, but I don't think it should be limited on that, because at the end of the day, we want to see like a proof of concept. So if your model can predict diseases, probably 70% accuracy, and if you can show that if the training is being increased, you are going to probably hit something like 90% accuracy, then that's already enough. But like I said, you have to show that if you increase the training, because sometimes increasing the training is not everything that you need. So you need to probably like test it out and actually prove that increasing the training can give you more accuracy. So yeah, I see. Inapa, can you go ahead?
So from what you said, when are we going to get access to the data sets? And are the data sets open sourced?
Yeah, you should check the Ghana, the link to the dev post page, the Ghana AI Hackathon dev post page. The link to all the data sets are there, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, the link to all the data sets are there. Just check it out. And also, you can also use a notebook LLM. I think if you ask a question, it's going to like answer. I think we can even try that. It's going to like what are the different data sets? I think you guys can still see my screen or not. What are the different data sets we can use? Can you guys see my screen? Okay, yeah, you can see my screen. So like I said, yeah, the data sets are already like yeah, these are the data sets. They are mentioned on like all the on the dev post. So if I do something like this, Ghana on the dev post page, so just check it out. I think we have links of this in either the Slack or the resource channel. So we have outlined them here. If you see this is the link, and yeah, but like I said, you can also use other data set. Don't be like limited on these two in terms of like depending on your idea what you're trying to build. But as you can see, you can also ask this model and it just points you directly to like the different data sets you can use. um Eli Bright, sorry if I pronounced that wrong. Bright, can you go ahead? Okay, I don't know if Bright. Okay, I see. Is fine-tuning and transferring allowed? Yeah, you can do whatever you need to do to create something that actually works. Godfrey, can someone else see my search on the notebook? No, nobody can see your search. So nobody can see. If you open the notebook LLM, you won't see my search. Dixon, go ahead. I don't know if you still have a question or your hand is just still up. All right. Is there any other question? I think we have 2 more minutes. I can take one more question. Please, can someone? Yeah, okay, I already answered that. All right, Godfrey, go ahead.
My last question is about the hackathon, the in-person sections. Is it just going to be one day? I'm asking because of people coming from outside the city and also from other regions.
Can you say that again?
With the hackathon in person, I mean, the day that we're going to present, is it going to be like probably 2-day workshop or a day workshop so that we'll be able to prepare well from people coming from outside Accra?
I think that's a good. I think it's going to be 2 days. Just let me note it down. Regina and Millie, can someone get me? Can we reach ask just confirm from Kevin and add this to the frequently request asked questions? I don't want to give an answer now because I'm not sure. So we are
Thank
going
you.
to we are going to add it we are going to add it to the frequently asked questions. All right, yeah. And one last question, Bright, you can go ahead. Okay, Abraham, yeah, Kwesi, you can go ahead. I don't know if it's the internet or what's wrong, but one more question and we can call it a day. All right, then I think we are going to close out here. If you have any questions, then please use Slack and we are going to try to answer as soon as possible. So again, happy hacking and see you all in Ghana. Have a nice evening. Yeah, just to quickly answer that, we are going to have like workshops on Tuesday at this same time for this meeting. So like all of the workshops, all of the upcoming workshops are going to be on Tuesdays at this same time. So we are going to send the invites. All right then. Bye bye.